Admissions tests are becoming increasingly common in UK university admissions processes, and one test that's being used more and more by universities is the Test of Mathematics for University Admission, or the TMUA for short. As the name suggests, it's a mathematics test used to assess university applicants on their mathematical abilities before admitting them to a course. We're taking a look at this test today to understand what it is, who needs to sit it, and how you can be prepared for it. So, let's begin. If you want to learn more about the Oxford and Cambridge admissions process, be sure to download the Big Book of Oxbridge Applications, our definitive start guide to Oxford and Cambridge. As well as details about the TMUA, you'll also learn about Oxbridge colleges, personal statements, interviews, and much more. This book's available to download for free now, so download your copy today, links in the description below. So, what is the TMUA exactly? We know it's an admissions test about mathematics, but what is it actually used for? Let's first consider which universities use it. As of 2026, the TMUA is currently compulsory at 5 universities in the UK: Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College London, UCL, and London School of Economics, or LSE. Among these universities, the test is primarily required for mathematics, computer science, and economics. There are a handful of exceptions, such as UCL not requiring the test for its computer science or mathematics degrees, and Cambridge requiring the TMUA alongside a different admissions test, the 6th term examination paper. There are some additional courses included, such as data science and actuarial science, but these 3 subjects mentioned are the main ones applicants will be taking it for. As well as those 5, Durham University and the University of Warwick also accept TMUA results for some of their courses, though taking it isn't mandatory for them. Next, let's see when the test needs to be taken. The TMUA can be taken at 2 different testing periods during the admission cycle, one in October and one in January. These dates change from year to year, but they always last 2 days. The October sitting is open to all applicants, but the January sitting cannot be sat by Oxford or Cambridge applicants. This is because of the earlier application deadline that these 2 universities have, which is October the 15th. Registration for the tests opens several months before and closes approximately 3 weeks before the testing date. Be sure to check the UAT UK website to confirm the actual dates for the year of your application. Sitting the TMUA requires a fee of £75 for those living in the UK and Republic of Ireland, or £130 for those living anywhere else in the world. This is payable when booking your testing slot, which has to be done online via a UAT UK account. Now it's time to learn more about what's actually in the TMUA. The test is split into 2 distinct papers: Paper 1 and Paper 2. Both of these contain 20 multiple choice questions, although they have a key difference that we'll explore pretty soon. In terms of timings, each paper is 75 minutes long, meaning that the total testing time is 2.5 hours. While these are called papers, the test is actually completely computer-based, which is standard for UAT tests. It had previously been a paper-based test prior to 2023, but this was changed when UAT took over. When taking the test, you won't be allowed to use a calculator, formula sheet, or any other forms of supporting material, apart from the erasable sheets and a pen that are going to be provided to you for working out. This test is initially scored out of 40 based on your raw marks, but this score is then converted into a final score that falls on a scale between 1 and 9. The test doesn't feature negative scoring, so you won't lose marks for getting questions wrong. The required knowledge for the TMUA is laid out within the TMUA specification, which is really important for you to read before preparing for the test. It covers a lot of ground, and the basic categories of the content include algebra, coordinate geometry, trigonometry, integration, statistics, and more. It's generally principles that you'll find at A-level, so there's nothing in here that should be unknown to you if you study mathematics. This required knowledge is shared across both papers, but the key difference is to know how the questions are presented in each part of the test. Paper 1 consists of pure mathematical problems that need to be solved. They can utilise any of the principles highlighted, so you'll need to have a firm understanding of each. Paper 2 is a little bit different, as it instead focuses on mathematical reasoning. In practice, this means that you won't simply be solving a problem, you'll be using your understanding of mathematics in combination with basic reasoning skills to work in unique contexts, such as assessing another person's mathematical process. To illustrate this, let's have a look at a question from each paper. This paper is a fairly straightforward graph question, requiring you to calculate a range of values for m. Of course, you're given a variety of options for what these values may be, one of which will be the correct answer. Meanwhile, in paper 2, we have a question in which we are given a mathematical statement regarding positive real numbers. We're also given a selection of counterexamples that are meant to mirror the initial claim. In this question, we're not specifically trying to solve a single problem, but rather identify which of these counterexamples are actually correct. This is why our answer options provide different possibilities for which each of these examples is correct. You're still required to complete calculations, but you're doing so to confirm an answer, not to solve yourself. This is seen in the work solutions for each question as well. The answer to paper 1's question, which was option A, is found by completing the necessary calculations to come to the correct conclusion. For the paper 2 question, we work through each of the provided examples to determine if they mirror the initial claim or not. Once this is done, we can select the option that includes the correct counterexamples. While not every paper 2 question is laid out in this way, the format of these questions aims to go beyond a standard mathematical problem. So, before we finish, what's the best way to prepare for the TMUA? Well, once you've confirmed your understanding of the principles featured in this specification, the best way to prepare is simply to practice. We would recommend working through as many practice questions as you can between now and your test date, as normalising the types of problems you'll be working with in your mind will help reduce the pressure you feel during the real thing. UAT UK have published a handful of TMUA practice tests, so these are a really good place to start. These come with worked solutions, which are essential for getting the most value out of your practice. Understanding the correct process for each question is going to help you learn from your mistakes. These official resources are quite limited, but you can also find a bank of official past papers from the previous years of testing. Again, worked solutions can be found for these, and they offer plenty of additional questions to work through. Once you've worked through these though, you may need to find some more, which is where question banks come in. Services like TMUA Ninja and TMUA Guru each boast hundreds of practice questions in their banks, including worked solutions for each. While these do require a financial investment, they do provide everything you need in order to get prepared for your test. While practice questions are helpful, it's equally important to complete regular mock exams under actual exam conditions. Not only will you feel more confident taking on the questions of the test, but you'll also be able to improve your timings and learn to optimize your use of the testing software. To ease this process, it's also a good idea to create a preparation schedule that organizes your prep sessions and ensures that you don't overwork yourself. So, that covers all of the essential information you need to know about the TMUA. So now it's time to start your preparation so you can ensure that you achieve a competitive score on your test. If you're interested in learning more about the TMUA, including more details on its scoring and result system, we've got really in-depth guides available over on our website, which you can find linked in the description below. While you're there, be sure to check out the Big Book of Oxbridge Applications, our definitive start guide to Oxford and Cambridge. As well as the details about the TMUA, you'll learn about Oxbridge colleges, personal statements, interviews, and much more. This book's available to download for free now, so get your copy today. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for even more Oxbridge and UK University application info.